Hello and welcome to my classroom where English is easy to learn. So hello everyone, it's me Taso. I'm happy to bring you another English learning video. Today we're going to learn 3 easy ways to understand present simple tense. Here are the 3 questions that will lead our discussion. First, when to use present simple? 2. How to use present simple? And 3. What mistakes to avoid in using this tense? Okay, before we begin, if you're new to this video, please subscribe because believe me, it's free. Let's start from the first question. When to use the present simple? There are at least 5 situations or events to use present simple. 1. Permanent situations or events. 2. Routines. 4. Fact or factual information. 4. Schedule, events or situation. And number 5. Frequency. Now let's have a closer look at each situations or event. Number 1 is permanent situation. We use present simple to talk about situation that is permanent or more or less always true. Yeah, we can talk about a place where we live, a place where we work, or a place where someone studies. Yeah, so here are 3 examples. We live in New York. He works at a bank. She studies in a university. So those are the permanent event or situations in which you need to use present simple. Number 2 is routines. We use present simple to talk about something that we do regularly. I wake up at 6 in the morning. I go to sleep at 11 in the evening. Number 3, to talk about fact. So we use present simple to talk about something that scientifically true. For example, the sun rises in the east. The sun sets in the west. Number 4, we use present simple to talk about something that is already scheduled. Yeah, many activities are scheduled, especially when if you are a student. Yeah, you will have your everyday learning schedule so that example thing or situations that we can talk using present simple. So here are our example. Our class starts at 9 in the morning. The flight leaves at 14:40. Number 5, we use present simple to talk about how often something happens. There are 5 categories, beginning from always until never. This is the frequency of doing something or how something is happening. Yeah, how something happens. Always, often, sometime, rarely, and never. He always takes the bus. He often takes the bus. She sometimes takes the bus. She rarely takes the bus. She never takes the bus. Yeah, so in this case, we have always, often, sometimes, rarely, and never as our frequency information. Yeah. Moving on to the question 2, how to use the present simple. To use the present simple naturally. As mentioned earlier, the present simple used to talk about situations or events that is permanent, routines, facts, schedule, and frequency. In addition to that, we need to be able to form positive sentences, negative sentences, and question sentences. So here is how to form positive, negative, and question sentences. 1. Positive sentences. When you want to form positive sentences, all you need to do is to pay attention to the subject. If the subject is I, you, we, they, you will add verb without any changes. I work, you work, we work, they work. If the subject is he, she, it, be careful. You need to add s or es sound after the verbs. So, he works, she works, it works. Number 2, negative sentences. If you want to form negative sentences, also you will look at the subject first. If the subject is I, you, we, they, you will take do as the auxiliary verb and then plus not. So I do not work, you do not work, we do not work, they do not work. If the subject is he, she, it, you need to use does as your auxiliary verb. Then add not. So he does not work, she does not work, it does not work. Number 3, if you want to form question sentences, what you have to do is the same like when you are making the negative sentence. Only the position of auxiliary verb do will be in the front of the sentence. So at the front of the sentence. So do I work? Do you work? Do we work? Do they work? And if the subject is he, she, it, you will choose does as your auxiliary verb and place it at the beginning of the sentence. Does he work? Does she works? Does it works? In many cases, native speaker of English will prefer to contract the sound of do not and does not to make it easier to sound. So don't, instead of do not. I don't work, you don't work, we don't work, they don't work. He doesn't work, she doesn't work, and it doesn't work. Let's see some more example of positive sentences, negative sentences, and question sentences. Positive sentences. I always ride my motorcycle to the campus. We often have lunch at the canteen. John sometimes brings his lunchbox. Rebecca rarely goes to the canteen for lunch. The canteen never looks as crowded as today. Negative sentences. I don't always ride motorcycle to campus. We don't often have lunch at the canteen. John doesn't bring his lunchbox. Rebecca doesn't go to the canteen for lunch. The canteen doesn't look as crowded as yesterday. If we form it into question sentences, they will become, do I always ride my motorcycle to the campus? Do we often have lunch at canteen? Does John sometimes bring lunchbox? Does Rebecca rarely go to the canteen for lunch? Does canteen Does the canteen look as crowded as yesterday? So what we are focusing is the choice of auxiliary do or does in relation to the subject, yeah? I.e. you, they, and he, she. Next, what if we use question words with present simple? Do you remember what question word is? Question words is like what, why, who, when, where, and how. And then there is also a combination of question word with other word like what word do you mean? Why not? How big? How far? And how long? Those are examples of question words that we can combine with the auxiliary verbs do or does in present simple tense. So here are some examples. Why do I always ride motorcycle to the campus? Because you don't have any car. How often do we have lunch at the canteen? When does John brings lunch box? Why does Rebecca rarely go to the canteen for lunch? How does the canteen look today? How to know spelling changes in present simple? The spelling changes has some rules. Yeah? Spelling changes in present simple only happen to one, positive sentences. Second, if the subject of the sentence is he, she, it, or the same reference to it, like the person names or nominal pronoun. So, in case of he, she, it, remember the verbs that follow subject he, she, it should be added as or es. Spelling changes in present simple. Most verbs are at as, like dance become dances, cook become cooks, sleep become sleeps. Verbs that ending in double s, h, ch, and x add es. Dress become dresses, wish become wishes, teach become teaches, and fix become fixes. While verb ending in consonant y, you will drop the y and then add ies. So try, for example, will become tries. Cry will become cries. Study will become studies. And fly becomes flies. Now we are moving on to number 3, common mistakes in the present simple. The common mistake in using present simple tense consist of 4 items. The first one is tenses. The second one is verb forms. The third one is spelling. And the fourth is missing words. This is example of each cases. I'm living in Tokyo. We likes to travel. She tries to save money. What time you finish work? Each sentence is incorrect in some way. So number 1, the incorrect tenses. I am living in Tokyo is present continuous tense. Yeah, the emphasis is saying that at this time of speaking, I am living in Tokyo. But the fact is that the person living in Tokyo or live in Tokyo permanently. So this sentence is incorrect for the reason of wrong tenses. Example 2, we likes to travel. Remember? Yeah, when the subject we do not need to add s at the end of the verbs. Number 4, spelling. She tries to save money. The spelling is incorrect because Y usually will be dropped and replaced by I. Okay. Number 4, missing words. What time you finish work? This is the most occurring mistake that student makes. Something is missing. So these are the correct version of each sentence. I live in Tokyo. We like to travel. She tries to save money. What time do you finish work? So remember to always add do or does depending on the subject of your sentence. Now let's do some exercises together. Here are 6 sentences you need to complete. Yeah, there are blank spaces and followed by verbs in brackets that you need to spell correctly, yeah, in order to avoid mistakes. So number 1, she usually get up early in the morning. Maria go to the library every week. I not think you are right. We have enough time. They send report to the headquarters periodically. You not drink much coffee. Number 1, we have already been given a clue that is the word usually. Yeah, this usually is, if you remember, part of the frequency. It is the clue for us to that tell us it is a present simple situation. So you need to get as after the verb get because the subject is she. So she usually gets up early in the morning. Number 2, every week. Every is also adverb of frequency. So consequently, it is present simple tense. When the subject is Maria, Maria is the name of the person, so Maria can be replaced by she. So it will become Maria goes to the library every week. Number 3, the subject is I. We have to make a negative sentence because the subject is I. Then we choose do as our auxiliary verbs, followed by not. So I don't think you are right. Number 4, we have to form question sentence. Yeah, because the subject is we, then we have to choose do as our auxiliary verbs and place it at the beginning of the question because it is question sentence. So, do we have enough time? Number 5, we see that the subject is they. When the subject is I, you, we, they, we don't need to add any s at the end of the verb. So it will become they send report to the headquarters periodically. Number 6, the subject is you. Yeah, when the subject is you and you need to form negative sentence, what you have to do is to choose auxiliary verb do. So you don't drink much coffee. So I think we have come to the end of our discussion about the 3 easy ways to understand present simple. And here are the lesson map of today's lesson. So there are 3 questions we should remember when we use present simple. The first one is, when do we use present simple? The second one is, how do we use present simple? And number 3 is, what are the common mistakes in using present simple? We have discussed all these item one by one. I hope you can understand present simple tense better. That is all, everyone. I thank you so much for watching this video. See you next time. Please subscribe, like, share, and comment.